All right, so we'll move on to my deck. I took first place, and we'll talk about the drama of the draws that Alex told me I was a cheapskate for doing. My Boba red deck, so I will give credit to Eric, where credit is due. I put Daring Raid in main board. 100%. That was an Eric call that we made on Wednesday before the tournament. As an addition, it felt very heavy in the it felt very heavy event wise compared to other ones, but I don't know. I guess I'll go over the deck and we'll talk about like the run and stuff like that. So I have 3 First Order Stormtroopers, 2 Daring Raids, 3 General Prides, 3 HK-47s, 3 of the TIE Silencers, 3 TIE Bombers, 2 Force Choke, 3 of the Fang Fighters, 3 of the droid missile platforms, which is funny. Can we just call them H? They're just the HMP card.
Yeah, they're the Roombas.
Yeah, 3 of the Super Laser Techs, 3 Open Fire, 3 Resupply, 3 Boba's Fett's Fire Spray, 2 of the IG-2000s, 3 of the Dorian Gunships, 3 OB Overwhelming Barrages, 2 Craving Power, 1 Darth Vader, 3 Ruthless Raiders, 3 Planetary Bombardments, 3 Mauls, 3 Devastators, and 2 Pelps, which I did play my fancy Pelps. So I finally have a deck I could play my fancy Pelps in.
That's the more important thing.
100%, yes. And then my sideboard, I have 2 Salvage, 2 Grenade Strike, 3 of the Palpatine's Return, 1 Lonely Reinforcement Walker, which we'll get to that in a minute because I'm very sad by that. But
yeah, I'm shocked there's only 1.
And then 2 Crate Dragons. So I am running a 62 card deck. I'll just flat out. I think it's 62 cards. It's either 61 or 62.
It's 62.
Okay. And it was because I could not decide what to cut to put the Daring Raids in. So I originally was on 1 Vader and 1 or 2 Vaders and 1 Craving, and I flip flopped it because of the fact that people have upgrade hate, and by the time I get to play Vader on the ground, if I don't play it as an upgrade, it's very sad because then like they just Rivals Fall it or Fell the Dragon it, and then like it's just a worthless card in a lot of matchups. So I found the Craving Power to unfortunately just be better, and it is not as good as an Overwhelming Barrage, but it is super awesome to flip Boba, then play a Craving Power to kill something, and then be able to actually swing in like every turn for that extra 2 damage. Mm-hmm. Like it's got like, again, like when Overwhelming Barrage rotates, Craving Power will be like a main staple in Green Villain.
It also like kind of uniquely works really well with Boba, because if you put Boba on a spaceship, you can spread the damage around as well and then do the Craving Power afterwards. So like you kind of get a little bit of the spread that you normally get with OB.
Yes. Yep. Exactly. That's very true. Yep. And what it did is it helped you if they had like, okay, I'll just tell you, it was for a Cad Bane flip. If they could not take care of and they had flipped before I had flipped, I was able to you could do the 4 damage to Cad Bane, and then you could put the Craving Power on and just kill their Cad Bane, just flat out. Or a Rey. Like, it was also for like the Reys that, even though Rey only has 6 health, like Rey does get that other experience token that she can give to herself. And if you can't kill Rey, you do not win this game. Like with this deck, like if Rey is on the board, you don't win. So Rey has to go. It's weird not playing Vaders in this deck either. Like I like the Maul better though, just because the Maul again kills almost everything. Yeah,
and the overwhelm damage is actually like ways to sneakily win games, because people don't like think about that really. So if they have like a ground unit and you just, here's the Maul, I win in the overwhelm.
Yep. And that's actually what won me the second Ray Data Vault game, because he couldn't keep the Sentinels down enough, and he like had enough low health units that Maul just went and overwhelmed. So like you was spreading the indirect damage out, and then the Maul just does like, there's like 4 or 5 overwhelm damage, and Maul still lives. So if you don't kill it, he's gonna swing next turn. So yeah, you better kill it. And Palpatine just. I originally was running, by the way, I was running 2 of the Reinforcement Walkers main deck. That's what I was doing. and I started playing Palpatine and said, I got fancy Palpatines and I just want to be able to spread the damage a million times more. So I chose Palpatine over the reinforcement walkers this time. I could tell you the crate dragons came in and they almost never did anything. So
that's sad.
I was able to win almost enough games that the crate dragons just didn't matter. So I wouldn't cut crate dragons, but I would rather have had when I did use the reinforcement walker, it was better than a crate dragon. So I chose to go with the grenade strike was just a little bit of extra space aggro tech in case I didn't get something. Turn 1. The salvages and the Pal's returns was because I believe there would be more pillage decks, or decks that use vigilance to discard my deck. That's what my theory was, and they were not needed very often. I think I used a Palp's return once, and I used the salvage. I did use the salvages and the Palp's returns against the Anakin deck I played, so that was relevant. But they were really genuinely for like the Han matchups, because a lot of Hans are putting pillages in the sideboards now, and so you can just strip their hand. They can strip your hand with the force throws and the pillages, and like this deck doesn't do well when it doesn't have 2 cards in hand. So there was that. And Eric gets credit for the daring raids. They were a way to trigger Boba for the extra indirect damage on turn 1 if you wanted it, and it was a way to be able to take care of anything that had 2 health pretty quickly. And I did use it more than one time to win games, actually. Being able to, if they have no units on board, and you would do the 2 damage and trigger your Boba, and you got a third. It was like one cost 3 direct damage to their base, which is pretty powerful, actually. So
who would have known?
Yeah, they were definitely MVP, and I would almost consider 3. Almost. I'm very tempted to. And what we originally were going to take the force chokes out, and I was like, "Man, if you see a Sabine though, you want force choke." So, I don't know. I will tell you the HKs also were MVPs, especially against go wide decks. So I do not know why. Like I did side them out against I think I sided it out against Jeff. No, I didn't side those out against Jeff either. I don't think I sided those out actually at all. I only sided out Allegiant Prides actually almost the whole day. They were the only thing that I sided out when I didn't get to go first. So. But those HKs, I'm happy I have 3 because I was a little worried I didn't have 3, and they just come in handy. Like it's just they screw the math up a lot, and that's why I like them. Is they really make the math so much harder for people to do, because it's like, now you got to do a damage to base. Now you got to do a damage to base. Yep, your guy died. Yeah, you get to play Luke, but you do a damage to base. Like that type of a thing. So,
and you were so down on them.
I was. You're right. I was 100%. But they're great. This deck, they're amazing. And it's funny because when I was testing Vader for this PQ like 3 weeks ago, that's what I was on, and I was pretty determined I was just going to take Vader. And I played against some Boba decks, and I just was getting stomped, and I couldn't figure out why. And it was like that HK, like when they were able to play, they had an HK down, and they played an IG 2000, and it wiped your board. Oh, that's 3 damage to base. It's like, so they stayed in. So I don't think I sided them out much the whole day. They just are really good. The only card I really genuinely did not like most of the day was the TIE Bombers. Honestly, like I wish I had a different card that could go in that spot, but because people could just ambush into them and kill them, and you're just sad because it doesn't do any damage back to them. But they're great Tarkin Town fodder. How about that? Like,
sure.
If people want to Tarkin Town my TIE Bomber, I was okay with that. So I guess we could talk a little bit about. So my first matchup that I had was against an Anakin Blue. I 2-0'd that matchup. The second game was a little bit more pushy just because he used the pillages, but because he used pillages and stuff like that, he didn't build a board presence. And so it was a little harder to take down my things. And then, I prioritized ramp and Maul. So I'm just, you put Anakin down, Maul. And I just use Maul. So I love Maul. I think Maul's my favorite card.
Really, really good.
And so I did that. The second game I played, or the second round I played against a Sabine, and the first game went pretty my way. They ECL'd something early, which they should. I think people got to. I think he ECL'd incorrectly the first game, and that cost him because I don't know what he ECL'd into, but he ECL'd something like turn 2 or 3, and to stop me from being able to do things, and I just was able to push more damage. And I was able to clean up his Sabine pretty quick. The game 2, I lost that one. Because he was able, I don't know if he ran Chewie's main deck or not, but he had 2 Chewies and 2 Yoda's lightsaber. So you put a Yoda's lightsaber down on his one unit, and I killed the unit, and then all of a sudden he had enough resources to play second Yoda's lightsaber on Sabine, and I could not stop her, and I could not stop the Chewbacca. Like, you can use Fang Fighter against some of that stuff, but it's just very hard. It was very hard.
That only goes so far, right? You still have to draw it in that whole deck.
And you only got 3 of them. So, and I'm not running confiscates at all. So, the second game it did not go my way. The third game, because I was able to bring the General Prides back in, and then it's just like, you have to kill General Pride, or I'm going to just.
Or you're blowing up all those upgrades.
Yeah, and it just worked out very well. I was able to build a pretty big board presence, surprisingly enough. Again, he ECL'd in early, and I just think, like, all it did was make it so that I didn't have to worry about wrecker play. I have no idea if he ran records or not, because he never played one, but I never worried about it. Like, he did have pose, and that was a problem that had to be dealt with. But outside of that, like, I just flipped Boba on the ground, killed the Poe with something else, and then, swung Boba in the base. So that was game 2. Game 3. Oh, I played Matt. Yeah, I played Matt my third round, and that was the Cad Bane Tarkin Town 1-drop deck, and I had no idea how to play against it the first round, and got my ass kicked. And then the second round, or the second game, I had a little bit more control of his units and was able to push enough indirect damage that we went to game 3 pretty quickly. And then that game 3, I think it came down to like 1 action. Like, I think we were pretty even for the most of the game. And then there was like 1 action where I just was able, again, Daring Raid and Devastator type stuff just is able to push through. But that deck can win before I can get to Devastator, I found out. Mm-hmm. It can control your, it's actually similar-ish to this type of style of deck, except for it has, the top end is not there. It's all low end stuff, but you have the card draw, with the stupid bounty hunter ship, the mist hunter, right? And it's like, it helps you tutor through your deck pretty quickly. And so I'm actually pretty high on that deck. And that deck is, we'll get to that deck in another segment, but that deck's a consideration for me as an individual. Like,
yeah, it's a cool deck.
I really do like that deck. And then my 4th round, I played against a gentleman that was also 3-0, and he was playing Vader Yellow. And I think he made a misplay in game 1. Because he tried to waylay a ship that had my leader on it, and you can't do that. And that was a misplay. Okay, all right, you're right. If it's Poe, sure, you can do that, but you cannot do that to Boba. And so I just ramped against him because I didn't have enough to control his board at first, and then I was able to flip Boba a turn earlier, and then he couldn't do anything. He should have waylaid my other ship, but he chose to swing into base so he could get his extra tie. And then, because he thought I flipped Boba, he then can waylay it. He couldn't. So I cleared his board almost completely, and then he couldn't do the waylay. And that pretty much just churned game 1 through the roof. Like, that was just, it was over very quickly.
Tough to recover from that.
Yeah. And game 2 was kind of similar. He had a little bit more board presence game 2. So it did lend itself for him a lot more to be able to do that. But I had OBs and cravings, and like, I have a Vader unit that can go on ships too, and there's just a lot, that I can do. And I think the biggest misplay the second game was, again, like, I had Fang Fighter, and I know how to play against Vader, so I just hold my Fang Fighter, and it's just like, if you are gonna do this, and you haven't figured out I have a Fang fighter, I'm just gonna kill your, like, I will do everything in my power to kill your Vader. Like, I do not care if I still lose the game. I killed your damn Vader. And I was able to get his Vader that game, and so that game went pretty quickly as well. But he also was not running the same deck as Sanazuki. He still had a couple of the 2-drops in there, and I think that hurt him more because of some of the, like, the one time he played the 2-drop, it's that one ship that does it's 1/1 and then it creates another tie, which was great when we were first learning the deck. But after, like, I could swing a ship into it and still live, and that's not a good trade value. You know, like, it's really not. So then here came so then after that we were 4-0. We did some math and we figured out there was only 15 3-1s left, and basically there was 2 rounds left. And so if you take that and cut them in half each round, plus us, it came down to the fact that the 4 of us that were 4-0 could ID both rounds and still make top cut. So we did. Yep. So we did that. And which was funny because it was me and Sanazuki and the Boba Fett player, the other Boba Fett, one of them, not Clinton, but the other gentleman. I can't remember his name now. A really nice guy. It was his birthday. And he's in our Discord. He's in the Discord too. I wish I could remember his name.
He's a good guy.
Yeah, he's a really nice guy.
I've spoken to him. I played games with him at RAW. And I just don't remember his name because I'm really bad with Nate. Dante.
It's Dante. I think it's Dante.
Yes.
So, and he was a really nice guy. And so we talked. It was funny because when we were sitting for round 4, and he was like sitting down the table from me, I was like, we're going to get paired into each other next round. It's like the laws of the Boba Fett players. We're going to get stuck paired into each other. And then when we were able to ID, we were paired into each other. So like, it was nice that we were able to ID so we didn't have to face each other that round. But then, so we ID'd for round 4 or 5 and 6, and then top cut came, and I got paired up with the Boba DV guy. I got paired up with Dante. And his deck was closer to the other guy's deck. He was running those shuttles. And game 1, he made a misplay because he activated his Devastator, but he'd already used his Boba trigger for that round and was like some damage short, and I was able to close the game out because of that. And if he had not used that, I think he would have won that game. And then the second game, he just didn't see enough of his stuff that stopped everything. So he just wasn't able. It was a very, very close games. And that second game, he was very close right along with me. I don't think either of us were more than 5 or 6 damage away each game from damage on base. So they were very equally matched. But it's who sees Devastators and who sees Planetaries. Right. It's really what it is. And I don't think he saw a Planetary, or he didn't play one.
Well, he's got 3 in his deck, so
yeah. I don't think he played one either game. So
he main decks double wolf.
He did, yep. And that was
that's pretty cool.
He wanted the turn 1 damage and to turn off any healing. That was what they were there for, I guess. And I said, kudos to you. His wolf did not do anything in our game, though.
Yeah, right.
Didn't matter. Like, I'll trade my Allegiant Pride into your wolf any day of the week. I don't care. But yeah, so that was kind of that was the big thing of that. So those were some fun games. I will tell you, this mirror match is a lot funner to play than a Vader mirror match, just flat out. Or a Han Blue mirror match. This one's so much better because like this one is not predicated solely on what you get, but it is a little bit, but not as much as like the Force throws.
Yeah, the whole segment of saying who sees Devastator Planetary first.
True. All right, but
it's a little bit more fun and interactive than
yes.
Han mirrors, I'm sure.
It's a million times more because we're each just like who throws indirect damage. And I'll make a statement, and I will not say I'm correct, but I will say that my Daring Raids 100% gave me an edge in those games, like because it's a 1 cost removal for his ships, and it helps with the indirect, and like I was able to use it as a very cheap removal. Like I was able to use open fire and Daring Raid in 1 turn. So
I mean 6 damage.
Yep, and it does what it needs to do. But Dante was a really nice guy. I felt bad because it was his birthday, so It's like, well, I can't concede to you yet. I was like, if I had a win, if I had a PQ win already, I would have. It's been like, yeah, here you go, man. You can have it. And then the next round I played Jeff, which we already covered his list, was the Ray Data Vault. The first game, he definitely probably should have won that game. He should have played his home 1 first, because then he would have been able to start swinging in for healing. And he did not play his home 1 first. And I think he forgot that Devastator can do the indirect damage how you want it. So I was able to Devastator and play a Daring Raid all in one turn. So that was, 5, 6, 7 damage, 7 damage just directly to base.
7 targeted, yeah.
And that's the only reason I won that game. Like, other than that, he had a whole board on the other side that was like, yep, I better win this quick because I don't know what's gonna happen. And then the second game, I was able to ramp, and he did not get ramp right away. So that made a pretty big difference because I was able to maul his Ray pretty much easily, and by the time I hit the 8 resources, there was enough damage on base that it wasn't as big. I did have a choice at the end on what I had to play to win it, but I think mostly it probably was over the round, that round before. But he also somewhat like the loot scene, he didn't see his loots like this, like I would have expected him to have. Like the first game, he saw Kellerans and Lukes and all sorts of crazy stuff. The second game, he didn't see as much of that. And I think that affects, if you don't have the bodies to absorb the indirect, right, it does affect things. The best play is the Bright Hope. That's the best play, is put a Bright Hope down and pick that stupid Village Protector up that you gave an experience to. That's the best is like he puts a Village Protector, puts the experience on it. You could swing in for your 3 damage, right? Now you're still sitting there, put your indirect on it, play a Bright Hope, and then pick it back up. I was like, oh, yep, that sucks for me. And then you get to play it shielded again next turn. And he did that. And that's a genius move. Great. Like, when I was playing, I never thought about that ever. Like when I played Han Green, I never thought about just doing, not Han Green, the Ray Data Vault. When I was playing Ray, I never thought about that. Being able to just pick it back up and stick it back down. Never thought.
Yeah, it's very important plays in those things.
Yeah. And then my finals were against Staniszewski. The first game I played, I did not see anything turn 1 at all to play after a mulligan, and turn 2, the most I had was to play a super laser tech that I couldn't kill. So there was that. So I lost the game 1 pretty handily, basically by the Vader flip. I wasn't able to come back. He was able to actually push damage and control the board at that point in the game. Then game 2 was a lot closer, and I was just able to, because I know what the Mining Guild ties do, I prioritized killing them so he wouldn't have the hand draw. And I think people just have to do that if you're playing against Vader. Like, you have to do that. I also killed his whatever ship. I can't remember what that ship's name is. The stolen AT hauler, and just never took it back out of the graveyard. I just left it there because it's like, I don't want you to steal it back, and it's a wasted action, it feels for me. Mm-hmm. And so I was able to get ramp off and control his board pretty easily that game. And then the third game we played, I was able to keep control, and then towards the end, we don't know if it was 100% a misplay, but we believe it is he flipped his Vader and then OB'd off the Vader on the ship to kill my Boba. And I had a Fang Fighter in hand, so I just was able to kill his Boba, and his ship was already exhausted. What he should have done is put Vader on the ground, I think, and then OB'd off that, and then been able to swing in, because it would have been an extra 7 damage that he could have done. And he went home and did all the math, I guess. And I guess in the long run, I think I still win by 2 or 3 points because I had a Maul in hand, which would have taken care of him the next turn and stuff like that. So I had answers, but I resourced them all after the Vader was gone. So like I was like I said, I don't need Maul anymore. But that game was won through indirect damage, essentially. Like I just was able to control the board enough and keep the units that he could absorb it on off. But I also play Vader, so I don't know, like I felt that was a better matchup. I didn't actually tech a lot for that. Like the only cards I brought in were the grenade strikes for that matchup. That was it. Nothing else. So yeah, and Sanazusi's a great guy. I love that guy. I love hanging out with him a lot. We went to a PQ together in Indiana that we probably won't do again, but we did do that, and that was fun. And you know, they were all close games. I think most of my opponents, we had pretty close games. I will say, if you want to play this deck, this is a lot more of an aggro-ish version. And I will tell you, the Dorian gunships, I don't know who thought to put that in there, but that's a better card than the MC30s. I'm just gonna stay it now. It fits your indirect game. It has the extra health. It can't be taken down. It can't
be felled.
It can't be felled. Like it's really a great card.
We had it in there for a bit, but we ended up taking out the Dornians. But that might just be because there was so much like space stuff at the time in JTL that they weren't as good. But also that was from like a Vader Yellow perspective, so maybe that's why that changed.
Yeah, I don't like it in Vader Yellow quite as much, but it is cool. Like getting it off in a Vader Yellow if you have a full board is amazing. But
sure,
that I find that doesn't happen in Vader Yellow enough.
But it's so hard to give out the MC30s when they just swing for 10 with Overwhelm, though, right? So
it is. I won't lie and tell you that, but I can tell you when no blue player could kill that ship just outright like that without a rival's fall, it felt really good. You know, and
that's
again,
what the
like,
perilous position is for.
That's true. If you did that, I would cry a little bit. I don't think Jeff had perilous position in his deck, so
nobody's running it anymore.
I run it.
That's why I run it in my sideboard for things like that, where it's just like, oh, that's just kind of annoying. Let's just exhaust it now and then modulate its health for thresholds. Because like you just do that to a Quinlan, you can play takedown on him next turn, and everything's fine. Or like, you know, a lot of 5 health things, you could just vigilance now, and kill it for 3.
Yeah. So I like the deck. I would highly recommend it. I think with me and a couple other people getting Boba wins, I think this will be teched against a little bit more. I was scared this weekend that it would be teched against, and it was not teched against hard enough, in my opinion. So I guess the Han Blues are like a pretty good counter to this too. Like this deck does not like Han Blue very much.
My deck feasts on those. I teched for it.
Yeah, thanks. I'm glad we didn't play each other then.
Well, we didn't discuss what we were playing really either. I texted you the morning of, where I'm just like, yes, I ended up on Ray. Yeah.
No, I didn't. I guess I didn't purposely. I'll be honest. I did not submit my deck until 10 o'clock that morning. So, just as an FYI, that was. I literally decided this deck is the deck I was going to run at 10 o'clock in the morning. And it was over. I had this one, Quinlan, Vader, and Iden all sleeved up, ready to go. And I chose this one probably because it's red-green villain, and it's the 33 health base that lets me have 10 extra cards in it, and I like that. So, because my other option was Iden. That was really the higher consideration was Iden. I just was worried there would be too much aggro. So,
which is what I was hoping for as well. Damn it!
You got aggro. You just didn't get to play it all. You didn't get to play any of the Bobas, actually. So
I know I didn't get to play a lot of the stuff that I was really hoping to play. I mean, like I played like a Sabine Data Vault though, so it's a little bit aggro. Poe ECL that has no chance into this. Like I actually played a Green Han 2, who actually placed higher than me. I think him and me and Santazuski were his only losses. And those were just, I was initially a little bit worried because like super late game stuff, but just didn't care. Turns out Owen attacking for 6 is just like enough to win games.
Yeah, it can be, right? Yeah, it's a middle finger. I'm going to resort to and give you a middle finger. So
yeah, Ray Blue's really good when they're playing single units. So when he's like, I drop Green Yoda, and I'm just like, Fella Dragon, direct hit. Whatever, it doesn't really matter. They're all doing functionally the same thing. Nebula Ignition, I did that to the Yoda.
Yeah. And we have that. I actually have those in my Iden deck, the Nebula Ignitions now. So because
Seems a little bit unnecessary, but it is like a 4th and 5th copy of Super Laser Blast, right?
Yeah. Yep, that's what Tanner has it in there for. It's because I'm
Except
playing.
for it doesn't hit pilots, which
No,
is an issue.
It doesn't. No, but you don't. If you get to that resource churn against a pilot deck, you usually are losing by then. So you don't care if I have to wait till 9 resources and I didn't get to ramp. So that was my run. I don't know. You can post in the comments. I will say that God turned the light out on you, I guess.
Roommate decided to turn off all the lights in the house.
But I will, every opponent I played was very fun. I don't know. I guess now with the buy, I can play for fun stuff, for fun decks now if I want. So
you said you were playing Trench.
I did not. Don't tell people that. Don't tell people I'm playing Trench. There's a good chance I might take Trench to a PQ. Yes. I know next set, like when we start.
Fun.
When we have it is for fun for me for fun.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I love it.
Yeah, it's like you're gonna win or you're gonna lose, and usually by turn 3 or 4, like how bad it's gonna be, and
just don't mess up, and you're good.
Yeah. I might take Trench. I know next set will be on Trench, so I know next set unless plot really sucks, then we're not gonna be on Trench. But
yeah, we'll see.
I think we will. We still owe that.
Check my Von Reg deck.
Yeah, I might take your Von Reg deck
or Kaz.
I did get a Kaz showcase, so I might actually start playing Kaz. Because I got a Kaz showcase. I also got a Qui-Gon. So out of the packs, out of the stuff I won, I got a Qui-Gon showcase. So that was in our cart. They let us trade in, for top. Anybody that made the top cut was able to trade in some of their packs for Carbonite packs, and so Stanny and I each got a box, and I was like, do you care? Like, I own everything, so like it's a lot less waste for me. Like, I would rather have the Carbonite packs and maybe get something cool that, like, I got a Gungi Prestige that I didn't have. I got a Marin Prestige I didn't have. So like I got some cool stuff that I just didn't have out of the Carbonite packs. And of course I got the showcase. So like that was always a win.
Now I got to play the Qui-Gon deck that I made.
I know. Like
I
actually.
Blue.
I will, like, Qui-Gon showcase is like orange too. Like I didn't
really
realize
good.
how it was like that orange. And I was like, oh my god, like this Intel's in.
Like shockingly a very, very good showcase. The showcases for this set are really, really good, except for Avar. That one's worse than the Luke Pilot.
No, it's not. Avar is better than the Luke Pilot. Period. Yes, it is. You just are jealous.
I'm not jealous. I assure you.
But it does help a little bit because it either gives me trade fodder or I keep it, and I might actually just keep it and play Qui-Gon because I was kind of high on Qui-Gon for a little while. Like I really genuinely like the Qui-Gon decks.
It's got some weird issues into some random things, but like it's a very solid deck. It's very good if you get it going.
Yeah, I think Qui-Gon's fun. I'll probably just keep it. I don't know. We'll see. Or I'll trade it to Sam. Sam, I'll trade that to you for your Palpatine showcase. But I have a Morgan one now. So I have a Morgan, I have a Snoke, I have the Qui-Gon one.
I want Snoke.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of the other ones I have.
You have Revan, don't you?
Oh, yep. I have Revan and Barriss. Those were the two I got in my pack or my things. So I got a Revan and Barriss. I will never get rid of I don't think I'll ever get rid of the Revan one. I think I'll just keep that one, period.
It's gorgeous.
Yeah, I actually for locals will probably put together a Revan deck just because I think it's fun. So I think I'm gonna.
Use mine. It's good.
I think I will. I think I'll just put together a Revan deck because I think I want to use the showcase and I want to play something crazy. I want to see if we can get some more. Can we transition the meta to be insane instead of just like a little bit stable with some weird stuff? I want to just see can we completely upset the whole meta and start getting some of these other things to go crazy, right?
Just ban Quinlan, Sabine, Cad, and Boba, and then and Han too, and see what happens to the meta. I would love that.
So
don't actually do that, but like it would be like wild just to see like random stuff people come up with.